give Arizona State credit. We knew they'd be a very good team coming in here, and they were physical, and they played till the end, and I was very impressed with them as a team and what Coach Hurley has done so far early in the season. They've had some big wins, and we're fortunate to pull through and give our guys credit for withstanding their run at the end, and was proud of them for the win.
Coming off of that last loss, kind of falling apart in the second half, what was the biggest thing that you were talking to the team about in terms of finishing, and how did you see that translate to tonight's game?
Well, number one, you have to keep your composure. I thought we lost our composure Sunday when they were making their run. The arena was loud, and we made some costly turnovers that we normally don't make. We've been very good with the ball all season long, and it was a learning experience for us. We still had a chance to win down the stretch. On Sunday we withstood their run and actually took the lead, kept the lead the entire time until the last minute or 30 seconds, and made a couple really turnovers that we haven't done all season, and so we didn't want that to happen obviously again tonight. I thought in this league every team goes on these runs, and you need to stop them as quickly as possible. We've been on many runs ourselves offensively and scored a lot of points, and so we understand that this league is excellent. Arizona State's got great players, and we knew we were playing very good defense for most of the game, and they made some tough shots down the stretch to go on. I think it was an 8-0 run, and they give them credit because players in this league are really good, and when a team gets on a run, I think sometimes it's hard to stop, and so that was the big thing for us, is just to keep your composure, play every possession, and if it's not going to be a perfect game, you're not going to play perfect, but you have to keep fighting and keep competing.
The offensive numbers really stand out this season, but again, Arizona State held under 70 points today, scored over 80 against Arizona. Defense seems to be what's kind of pushing this team over the edge. What have you seen that's been the key to your team's improved defense this season, especially now in Pac-12 play?
Defense has been a big emphasis on for our team the entire season. I think we were 11th in the nation effective field goal percent against opponents' field goal percent going into tonight, and they shot 38% from the field and 28% from the three-point line. So once again, we did our job. Offensively, we shot decent percentages. I was a little disappointed down the stretch. We turned the ball over a few times to allow them to go on that run, and we just need to. We take three of those turnovers away, then we don't have to sweat as much down the stretch. But defense is important. You don't win unless you can defend, and our guys are doing a pretty good job most of the season.
What did you see from Darian Clark tonight?
Well, Darian's one of the best rebounders out of his area I've ever seen. That's why we brought him here to do that. He has an important role in our team. His minutes fluctuate depending on the time, the score, who we're playing, how everything is going in the game. And I give him a ton of credit because when we put him in the game, he knows what he's going to rebound the ball. And he's going to be physical, and he's going to go get it. So tonight he did that. He had 10 rebounds in 16 minutes. And he did end up with 5 points, and it was a big factor in the second half, first and second half.
It seemed like on the interior you guys were more aggressive than usual. Nick had 4 blocks. I mean, Darian had a bunch of boards. I saw Benny was getting in the post a little bit, had a coast-to-coast layup. Was that something that you noticed that you were impressed with? That it seemed like there was less emphasis on shooting threes than normal, maybe?
What did we take? Looks like we took 16 threes, which is not a lot. You're right. We didn't take a ton of threes. So I think we opened the game with making maybe 3 or 4 early. But we try to take what the defense gives us. Arizona State's a very good defensive team. So we had they once we made those threes, they made the adjustment. They were getting out on our shooters, and it opened up a little bit for the interior players. So the nice thing about our team, we have 6 players averaging double figures, at least going into the game. So if a team takes a certain 1 or 2 options away, we usually have options 3 and 4. We just hope they work.
Obviously, Benny has proven himself many times this season, but how impressed are you with the way he's playing against this level of competition?
Well, it's not surprising to us because we've seen Benny play for 2 years in high school and now as a freshman, and he's a terrific player. He has an unbelievable work ethic, basketball IQ, and he's getting better. He's really improved. He's improved his body. He's improved his skill sets. He's improved his decision making. And his best basketball is ahead of him. He's just scratching the surface. I mean, he's going to be a terrific player in this league.
You use the clock a lot. Was that on purpose or just in the flow of the game?
Just more in the flow of the game. I thought we got a little stagnant last 7-8 minutes. And that's one thing we need to work on. We need to keep being aggressive. Sometimes we get in these situations where we're either one extreme or the other. We're either shooting the ball with no passes and forcing something, or we're being too stagnant. And when the ball sticks or we don't move the ball and get the good flow, our offense doesn't look as good. And that's a good point, because that's what happened for a few minutes tonight.
Is that the result? It's still a relatively young team?
Yeah, I think we're still learning it. And we have different lineups in there. And Boatwright goes between the power forward and the small forward, and Chimezi Metu and Nicola play. Nicola plays the 4 and the 5, and so depending on the lineups we have in there, they just have to kind of get a better flow at those crucial parts in the game instead of holding the ball and having it stick.
With all that juggling you're doing, do you have to be patient with the players because of all they have to learn within each other?
Yeah, we're patient with them. I'm very happy with this team. They show up every day. They want to get better. They want to learn, and we understand. We're not. We make so many mistakes, like we did tonight. But they give the effort, and they play hard, and they practice hard, and so that's all you can ask as a staff. And they take coaching, and they want to win.
Coach, how would you assess Julian Jacobs' performance and his health going forward after?
Well, I was so impressed with his game tonight. To sit out all week of practice, he spent so much time in the hot tub, the cold tub, the icing, and I didn't think he'd play tonight. And he texted me this morning and called me, and we talked, and he said, I said, look, it'll be a game time decision, because you need to be healthy enough to perform, and I don't want you to get re-injured, and you need to. But he was so emphatic about playing that I felt like my hands were tied, because he went through our shoot-around today. He didn't favor it. He was putting on a good front, I guess. But he just played a great game. To come in here and have 15 points, 5 assists, 4 rebounds, shoot a high percentage after going through 4.5 days of rehabbing and therapy on his ankle was just unbelievably impressive.
You talked about the tough competition in this league. Obviously, you get a great win tonight, but then you're going to have to take on Arizona in a couple days. What does it take for your team to be able to replicate a performance like this and close out again?
Well, I think we need to play better on Saturday. I thought we played okay tonight. I thought we made some mistakes, but our players will see. That's what this league's all about. We have 12 really very good basketball teams, and Arizona's certainly one of them. They're ranked in the top 10 in the country and have a lot of talent and have all the traditions. So it's an opportunity for us to go compete against one of the better teams in the country.
So the team exceeded last year's win total tonight. Going forward, sort of what you've seen so far this season, what do you think the upside is for this team going into March?
Our goal we made no predictions and no win total goals. Our goals were internal, meaning we're trying to get better as a team every week. We need to learn from the games we play, the practices. Early on, we wanted to learn from our scrimmages and even our trip in Italy. That's when it first started in August. So our goal is we don't know how many games we can win or lose, and we're not going to start looking at the schedule down the road in the next month and a half and say, oh, we could win this game or lose. We're just going to try to compete and do the best we can.
Was there a reason why you played Julian off the ball a little bit more tonight?
I don't know. He figures that out with Jordan, and they just play. So Jordan had 8 assists, and Julian had 5. So as long as they keep doing that, we're fine.
One last one for Coach.
What did you see on that Chimezi dunk?
I saw an arm about 2 feet above the rim. That's all I saw. He's spectacular with his athleticism, and he's really improved as a player. I'm very, very proud of him. He's improved defensively a lot, and if he keeps working on his skill set, just like you asked about Benny earlier, Chimezi and Benny are going to be excellent players in this league.
In high school, he hoisted a lot of shots, and he isn't doing it here. How much did you have to talk to him about that?
Well, that bench says a lot. So if he's going to hoist shots, contested shots, he's going to sit on the bench. And he took a nice jump shot tonight. Julian found him. And in fact, Julian even said, "Hold your follow through," as he was shooting it. And he shot a nice, I think he shot about a 17-footer tonight and made it. So I'm fine with our big guys. Nicola can shoot the ball from the perimeter, Chemezi, of course, Benny. And so if those guys take shots in rhythm, that's great. No, he doesn't take any bad shots. You're right.
On defense, he's leaping at guys on the perimeter, which takes him out of any chance of going back for a rebound.
Yeah, sometimes we have to switch on the ball screens or he helps. He did that a few times tonight. And so we try to keep him around the rim, but he's also quick enough to go out and switch ball screens if we have to. If they have a four-man like Atwood tonight who's a shooter, and we put him in, and I'd rather have him on the perimeter because he's quicker than some of our other bigs. So if we need to switch, he can usually stay in front of the guards as best he
No,
can.
I see that, but I'm talking about when he kind of leaps at them.
Oh, I see.
But he ends up at half court almost.
You're right. Yeah, he does get out of position sometimes, and so that's a learning process. We've talked to him about that, and sometimes he tries to block every shot that they throw up, and even if it's an impossible, he'll leave the rim unprotected. So as a shot blocker, I think it's a great point you bring up, because a shot blocker like he is needs to know when he can go block a shot and when he needs to kind of fake it and go back and rebound the ball, because you can't block every shot, and if you try to if you get out of position, it leaves the backside of the rim wide open, and then we're relying on our guards in the backside to come down and box out one of their bigs. So he's learning, but he's doing a great job.
Find some good Russell.
Yeah, you're right. Thank you. Appreciate it.